Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly intuitive reading for Monday, July 5th through Sunday, July 11th, 2021. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from a brand new deck called the Elemental Oracle deck by Stacy DeMarco. So just a reminder that this is the first full week of the month of July. So if you'd like to see what the month of July has in store for us, please go to my YouTube channel and watch the monthly intuitive reading for the month of July, complete with the numerological energy. Did I say that right? Numerological energy vibration, the astrological transits of significance, as well as messages from our angels and guides, and of course, a special message card for you depending on your stone of choice for the month. So for this week's weekly reading, let's go ahead and start by looking at what your stones of choice are this week. Okay, so the first stone of choice, and these are all special intention pendants this week. So the first special intention pendant is this beautiful rhodonite, okay, the rhodonite. It's a pink stone, often with either tan or black inclusions in it. And as a lot of you may already know, I wire wrap different stones and crystals, and then I infuse them, that's the word I was looking for. I infuse them with special intentions through Reiki, and those special intentions can be anything from a number vibration, astrological signs, planetary energies, chakra energies, archangel, ascended master energies, and whatever else comes in while I'm doing it. So this particular one, the rhodonite, of course, it's wrapped in silver wire, and it's infused with the vibration of the number 2, the number of love, compassion, and relationships. It has infused into it the energies of the sign Cancer, the sign of loving connections with others and peaceful and balanced emotions. That's infused with the opening and balancing of the heart chakra for self-love, love towards others, both friendship and romance, and with the energies of Archangel Raphael to help to heal old heart chakra wounds, as well as Archangel Chamuel to assist in attracting our soulmate or healing any current soulmate relationships in our lives. Okay, now the second special intention stone of choice is this beautiful pink rose quartz. So this rose quartz also wrapped in silver, and it's Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, the number of unconditional love, forgiveness, compassion. It has infused into it the qualities of Libra, the sign of balance and harmony in relationships. The opening and balancing of the heart chakra as well for this one, for love of self and others. And the energies of Archangel Raphael to help to heal old heart chakra wounds, and Archangel Chamuel to assist with attracting or healing soulmate relationships. And then your last stone of choice is this beautiful magical raw ruby. Okay, so this is a raw ruby stone. This one's wrapped in gold wire, and it's infused with the vibration of the number 2, the number of relationships and equality. The energies of both the signs Libra and Scorpio, the signs that rule partnership and passion. It's infused with the water element for feelings, balanced feelings, emotions, and intuition, increased intuition. And deep connections with other people. And then also infused into it is Archangel Chamuel's energy, the archangel who assists you in finding your soulmate, along with Venus, Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, and merging with another. So again, our pendants of choice are the rhodonite. Whoops, I got that backwards there. The rhodonite, the rose quartz, or the raw ruby. And we'll show you these stones quickly once again before we look at the messages from our angels and guides through the cards. And you might notice too that all three of these stones of choice have something to do with relationships, and that's not by accident, because this week's astrological energy has a lot going on with Venus, the planet of love and relationships, also with Mercury as well, which rules the mental realm and our thoughts, perceptions, and communications. But we start out the week on Tuesday the 6th, and we have on that day Mercury in Gemini. So remember, Mercury actually went retrograde in Gemini. It seems like it's been in Gemini for a really long time, and it has in fact been in Gemini much longer than it normally stays in any particular sign because of that retrograde motion. So Mercury rules, again, ideas, thoughts, perceptions, communications, information, messages. And in his home sign of Gemini, he's very comfortable there. But on Tuesday, he challenges Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune rules the spiritual realm, things that are intangible or unseen, things that we can't quite get a focus on. And so it does rule illusion, confusion, and delusion. It also rules unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, and spiritual support. But this is a challenging aspect. So we might find that communications are a little muddled or unclear on or around Tuesday, probably even a day or two leading up to Tuesday. So in having communications with other people, you might want to reiterate what's being said to clarify what you mean. And also when someone's speaking to you, to kind of reflect back to them what you're hearing them say, because again, there can be some misunderstandings in the communication department with this particular aspect. Now, it's interesting to note that on Wednesday, the next day, Mercury is finally out of its shadow, meaning the degree that it first went retrograde at, that it's now going to be past that degree, which means it's now past that shadow period. It's now completely and thoroughly out of its retrograde movement. It's been out of its retrograde motion, but it hasn't been fully out of the retrograde time period until Wednesday the 7th. So this Mercury connecting with Neptune, the challenging aspect between those two, happens the day before Mercury is fully out of its shadow. But also on Tuesday the 6th, this is where we have Venus beginning her journey for the week. And Venus again rules love, relationships, merging with another, beauty, harmony. Also, she rules personal resources, including money and finances. And she's opposing Saturn on Tuesday. And Saturn rules delays and limitations and restrictions. It rules karmic lessons or the need to learn something. He's the teacher of lessons. And Saturn rules structure and form. So he also rules that restructuring process that we might need to go through. So in this case, there might be a restructuring of relationships, the patterns within relationships, the way we operate in relationships. There's a restructuring process, or with her ruling personal resources like money and finances, there's a restructuring process going on with this opposition to Saturn. But know with an opposition that this usually plays out with other people. So our family, friendships, significant other relationships, coworker, boss relationships. We're playing this restriction, limitation, delays, the need to learn something. We're playing that out with other people. And then on Wednesday, Venus moves forward. Now, she's in Leo, by the way. So Venus, she's in Leo. She wants to be self-expressive. She's gregarious. She's happy. She's take charge and leadership oriented. She is very generous in her love and generous with, whatever it is that she's giving to other people. But again, she was kind of challenged on Tuesday with Saturn kind of restricting her creative self-expression or her energies. On Wednesday, Venus in Leo moves on to connect with Chiron, the wounded healer, the ruler of past life wounds, the shaman. And although this is a positive connection, we are talking about Chiron. So we are talking about some past life wounds here regarding our sense of self, because Chiron is in Aries, the sign of the self. So we're talking about self-confidence, self-identity, courage, strength, independence. All of these things are wounds that are being brought up every so often, depending on what planets are hitting Chiron at any particular moment in time. But with this positive connection with Venus, it supports, I think, the divine feminine, which is a Venus energy, right? Venus is a feminine planet. So to me, it's supporting the divine feminine strength and confidence, because again, Leo is this fire sign, this leadership-oriented sign, this take charge sign. It's passionate. It's full of life and vitality. So I feel like there is a potential for healing a lot of these wounds of the self with this connection to Venus in this expressive sign and fun-loving sign of Leo. On Thursday the 8th, Mercury, again still in Gemini as it was when it connected with Neptune on Tuesday, Mercury in Gemini is now making, you can call it a challenging connection to Pluto. It's called an inconjunct or a quincunx. And this would be considered an aspect where there needs to be some sort of adjustment made in order for the energies to work well together, because Mercury is in air sign Gemini, which rules that mental realm. So it's, again, air. Pluto is in earth sign Capricorn, so it rules the material realm. And earth and air usually don't get along very well. And Pluto is about transformation, death, and rebirth. Can be about power and control, can be about secrets, it can be about things that are hidden. And so with Mercury, planet of the mind, in this challenging aspect to Pluto, we might find some communications to where there's a tug of war, a power and control dynamic, a need to own our power, take back our power. Or we also might need to just transform our own thoughts and our own perceptions with that Mercury and Gemini and Pluto. You know, Pluto's saying, transform, transmute any lower vibrational thought patterns or perceptions, or even ways of communicating. Transmute them to a higher level. Go through this death and rebirth process and change how this energy is operating. Also on Thursday the 8th, Venus in Leo is now challenging Uranus, or squaring Uranus in Taurus. Now Uranus is in Taurus for a long time. Uranus stays in each sign of the zodiac for 7 years. So it's not, it's not unusual right now that Uranus is in Taurus. But with Venus in Leo, a fixed sign, Leo's fixed sign, which means there's a stubborn energy. Taurus, where Uranus is also a fixed sign, so there's a stubborn energy. And so these two energies, these two planets, both in stubborn, fixed signs, are challenging one another. And so there's kind of a story going on here with Venus this week, right? She starts out on Tuesday opposing Saturn, so she's feeling held back or restricted in her energy dynamic. Saturn can be like the authority that has the thumb over her. So again, Venus is the divine feminine wanting to rise into her power, and Saturn saying, no, I'm the authority, so you can't fully rise into your power, and I'm going to restrict you and limit you in some way while you go through this restructuring process. And again, there might be some delays in her kind of rising into that power. So that happens Tuesday. Then remember, Wednesday, she connects with Chiron, and there's some sort of healing process taking place with her sense of self and self-identity and confidence. And then Thursday, she's challenging Uranus, and she's ready to break free, because Uranus is about freedom, change, redirection. And usually with Uranus, things happen suddenly, quickly, and unexpectedly. So here, Venus is getting ready to free herself of whatever this restrictive energy is that she then went through a healing process of. And now it's like, okay, now I'm ready to change, I'm ready to redirect, I'm ready to move in another direction. And that might be within some sort of relationship or a pattern in a relationship. And it could also be with personal resources, again, with money and finances. Maybe she either needs to or decides to put out some money, put out some resources towards something, or a situation may happen that comes in that says, oh, no, we gotta take care of this. We have to use our resources of time, effort, money, whatever the resources are, and we have to do something about this because of some sudden and unexpected situation, circumstance, or event that came in. Now, this is all leading up to Friday's full moon. So know that what's happening with Venus, and know that what's happening with Mercury, first challenging Neptune and then challenging Pluto this week, is happening as we're building up to this emotional, powerful full moon in Cancer. Now, the moon naturally rules Cancer. And Cancer is about our intuitions, our feelings, our emotions, our empathic ability. It's also about home and family matters. So there's always a rising of the emotions with a full moon, right? Because that's what the moon rules, is our subconscious and our emotional natures. But it's going to be even more so because it's in its home sign of Cancer, the sign that also rules the emotional and the subconscious. And so, again, there's this rising energy throughout the week with some of what's going on astrologically as we near this full moon. Now, the full moon on Friday is actually positively aspected by Neptune. It's going to be in a nice, flowing, harmonious aspect. Now, Neptune rules the spiritual realm, our psychic senses, our intuitions, our healing abilities, our connection to our angels and guides, and things unseen, magical energies, you could even say. And again, with Cancer, this full moon in Cancer already ruling our intuitive nature, and it connecting positively with Neptune, I feel like our psychic senses and perceptions, our clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, our claircognizance, probably especially our clairsentience, which is the clear feeling, because those water signs really feel energies. They're sensitive to energies. So those psychic senses, especially the clairsentience, is really intensified during this full moon. And then on Sunday, we round out the week, or end the week on Sunday the 11th, with Mercury moving out of its home sign of Gemini finally, after its long time there because of its retrograde motion, and it's moving into now the sign of Cancer, the next sign of the zodiac. So because Mercury rules the mind and all things mental, and Cancer rules our emotions and all things that are sensitive and feeling oriented, it's not its favorite place to be. Cancer is not the favorite place for Mercury to be. Now, it does help us with kind of merging logic and intuition, because Mercury is logical and Cancer is intuitive. So we can kind of merge that logic and intuition. But it's not always comfortable for Mercury to be in that sensitive sign, because Mercury can be objective. Mercury ruling the mind can be objective and can kind of separate itself from some of the emotional energies. But now that it's moving into Cancer, and Cancer is so emotional, it's going to be more difficult to stand back and look at things logically or from an objective viewpoint. Now, Mercury is going to stay in Cancer from the 11th of July until the 27th of July. So before the end of this month, it will make one more sign change. So it's not in there too long, but definitely long enough for us to kind of, again, merge our logic and intuition. And this can be creative too. This can be a kind of a creative aspect for coming up with new ideas, especially also there's a communication aspect here with home and family matters. Cancer rules home, family, those that we care for. And if they're not biologically our family, this can be close friendships, our partnerships, those people that we have a close emotional bond with. So there's more communication happening on a deeper emotional and feeling level when Mercury goes into Cancer. So that's a little bit about what's going on astrologically for the week. Let's shift our perspective and let's see what our angels and guides have to say through the cards. Okay, so just a reminder of what those stones of choice were for this week. We have the rhodonite, the rose quartz, or the raw ruby to choose from as far as your special message card. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages now. from our angels and guides. So the first of the two cards, well, I guess this is like part one of the first card, is Major Arcana number 10, and it says Destiny. This is like the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot, and this is a very positive card. We'll definitely have to see what comes out with it. But that word destiny in this case, in this particular deck, feels like there's some sort of destined occurrence that's going to be happening this week, or at least being initiated this week. Destiny, or something that's fated, something that's destined or fated, is kind of, meant to be. There's something that's shifting or happening. The Wheel of Fortune is usually about a positive turn of events, and it's sort of like the karmic wheel of destiny is spinning here. So there's something happening. But in this particular card, isn't it interesting? I've never really realized this before, but intuitively at this moment, I'm seeing, obviously I've seen that there's many faces here, but it's all the same woman, right? There's 7 faces here. Well, actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8, 9 down here. I'm surprised they didn't use 10. But there's all these different faces in this Wheel of Fortune, in this Destiny card. And the number 10, too, numerologically, is about some sort of new beginning that's divinely guided. Ones are about initiations, new birth and new beginnings, and the 0 is not typically a number in numerology, but it definitely talks about God's source energy, universal energy, divine protection and guidance. So to me, this is like a new beginning that's divinely protected and guided. And with there being all these faces all around the destiny wheel, but yet it's the same person, it makes me feel like there's more than one potential timeline, if you will. In other words, because we have free will, there are some certain, energies that seem fated or meant to be. Like when we meet somebody that is another soul that we've been with in another lifetime, it's meant to be. It's fated that we meet them. But as far as how we act or the decisions we make, or how they act or the decisions they make, nothing's set into stone. It depends on our free will choices at that point. And this makes me feel like whatever destiny has in store for us this week, that there's many possibilities and potentials depending on the free will choices that we make. Now let's go ahead and turn over the card that came out with it and see if there's further information about that destiny card here. Okay, not surprised. Not surprised to see the 2 of Cups, right? Because Venus is highlighted this week. Venus, planet of love and relationships. So here it says spiritual union. So whatever this destiny is, whatever this initiation of a new beginning. Now, again, it could be a new beginning in a new relationship, a new beginning within an existing relationship, because of a new beginning in the way we perceive something or act, or how we, heal our old patterns, and therefore it's a new beginning again in how we proceed within these new patterns and how it affects our relationships. Now, again, this can be romantic, family, friendship. Could possibly even be work-related, but this is more of an emotional connection card. This is speaking of people that we feel more emotionally connected to. So it seems like there's potential of different possibilities. Remember how I said that this seems like there's more than one potential possibility, or more than one potential timeline here. And it's going to depend on what we say, how we act, what the other person says, how they act, and kind of how that free will and those free will choices and decisions are playing out within the relationships, those emotional connections and relationships in our lives. Of course, I think of the 2 of Cups, and we have a lot of gold energy here. It's also a green, green border. Green border is the heart chakra, of course, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. The gold energy is a high vibrational color of energy that relates to the crown chakra. So we're talking about higher spiritual love, which is unconditional love. Higher spiritual love. If we can stay connected in higher spiritual love, And if we can stay connected to our higher soul selves, because we can't dictate how the other person is going to act or react to anything that we do or say, but we can ourselves stay in our higher essence. We can stay in our higher soul selves, and we can exude that unconditional love, and hopefully the other person can do the same. And then, these potential timelines, whatever happens here, depends on all of that energy and how we move with that energy, how we flow through that energy. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next card and see how we go on. So we have now another major arcana. This is major arcana number 5. And in this card, in this deck, it says wisdom at the bottom. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is the Hierophant card. And the Hierophant card is usually about a spiritual authority, someone that we go to who's a spiritual authority, where we're seeking answers, we're seeking advice, we're seeking guidance. It could be like a counselor, a therapist, but a spiritual authority usually means it's like a priest or a rabbi or, someone who's like a spiritual teacher. And he does have a book in his hand here. So this is somebody with a lot of like spiritual wisdom and knowledge. That's why they call this card wisdom. So we may be seeking other people's thoughts, perceptions, opinions, intuitive guidance regarding whatever situation we're going through. I also feel like on another level, though, the Hierophant or the Wisdom card here could be us getting in touch with our own inner wise one. We're looking for that wisdom within ourselves, with our inner wise one, also called higher soul self. And, there's a lot of other symbology here with the sun here, which rules the solar plexus chakra of energy, our confidence, our willpower, our ability to own our power or take back our power. The sun is a little bit of the orange colored, which is the sacral chakra. So this is our creative self-expression and feelings of passion for life, passion with what we're doing, passion in ourselves. It can also be sexuality, that sacral chakra color. We have a house there in the background with a man, woman, and a child. So again, there's an indication of family dynamics here. So the relationship could be some sort of a family circumstance or situation where we're needing, again, to connect with our higher selves, or even, again, connect with somebody outside of ourselves for some sort of added perspective, some sort of added perspective or guidance as to what's in our highest and best interest to do. But we should always definitely listen to our own intuition and our own wisdom, the wisdom within ourselves. Okay, 5s are about change too, by the way. So there can definitely be some changes, changes that are initiated or changes that are coming here. And then the last card is the 3 of spiritual. And it does say partnerships and alliances at the bottom. The 3 of spiritual, the number 3, though, is usually, numerologically speaking, it would be 3 or more people. So this is like, let's say, for instance, this is a marriage partnership with man, woman, and then spirit or universe, God, if you will, being part of that partnership. And that's just one example. That's not, not a set in stone interpretation by any means. This can be partnerships and alliances with other people, like, for instance, within a family dynamic. If there is something to be worked out with a family member, maybe there's another family member outside of the situation that can help to give an objective perspective or objective advice or guidance to what's happening and what's going on. So this is all about just coming together. Now, if this is about a one-on-one partnership or relationship of some sort, this is kind of about coming together in peace, coming together in balance, coming together in equality. And it's interesting that we have this blue and we have this purple. Blue is definitely, this is kind of a light blue, so this is relating to the throat chakra, speaking our truth, coming together in partnership and speaking our truth, being authentic, speaking with unconditional love and compassion for what the other person may be sensing or experiencing, but also speaking our truth with, authority, not with assertion necessarily. I mean, we have to set a boundary sometimes and speak with a certain sense of confidence. But we also need to be nurturing and loving and compassionate when we're speaking our truths. But this is about definitely communication to me, using that throat chakra for communication. And the purple here, of course, is a crown chakra color. So we're definitely connecting to our higher source of wisdom again, just like the previous card, connecting to that higher wisdom, that higher knowledge, the higher messages from our angels and guides. Opening up to the guidance of the universe here would be crown chakra purple energy. So if we come together in partnership, if we come together, whether it's again a family connection, a friendship connection, a significant other connection, if we come together with these two things in mind, that it's a higher spiritual love, that we're connecting to our higher selves and messages from the divine, and acting out of unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness, and we're speaking our truth with that love and compassion, and we're being authentic. But we need to be honest. Sometimes, sometimes speaking out is difficult, so we definitely need to have that conversation or communication. And it looks like with the cards that are given here, that there's definitely potential to mend whatever's going on, to heal whatever's going on, or to move through evolution and growth as individual souls as well as within the relationship. So that potential is strongly there, but it all goes back to the free will choices and decisions that we make as far as which timeline we're going to put ourselves on, right? Okay. So let's see what your special message card is, depending on your stone of choice for the week. So those of you that chose the rhodonite, okay, let's give this a little shuffle. I already blessed these cards. This is a brand new deck. First time I'm using it in a weekly reading. But they've been cleansed and blessed and meditated with. So rhodonite, special message for rhodonite people. Special message for rhodonite. Okay, this one's calling my attention when I open my eyes. And it says moon. It says moon in darkness. Now, we have a full moon, right? We have a full moon in Cancer this week. So there's definitely something about this full moon. And this person's hair is covering their eyes. So we are keeping ourselves from seeing something here. Our emotions, to me, the emotions of that full moon, the emotions of the Cancer full moon at that, are getting in our way of maybe seeing the truth about something. We're kind of deceiving ourselves or hiding from it. And this is saying we have to bring ourselves out of that darkness, bring ourselves out of the hiding or the confusion or the not wanting to see the truth of something. So again, remember that our emotions will be more easily triggered during the full moon. We'll feel more emotionally sensitive during the full moon, and we'll be more intuitive during the full moon, as long as we can stay emotionally balanced, because if we're not emotionally balanced, sometimes our intuition, even though it's strong, cannot be read correctly. But that number 7 too, this is the number 7 card, and number 7s are about using discernment. And again, with whatever it is she's not wanting to see, and once she takes her hair out of her face and she's able to see something, she has to use discernment. Is this the truth of what I'm seeing? Is this something that I have to observe a little bit longer to understand a little bit deeper about the whys and what's really happening or what's really going on, or what I'm supposed to be learning, or if I'm supposed to make a move or not? The number 7, can have a little bit of a need for withdrawing your energy, going within, being alone, meditation, contemplation, not making too much of a hasty decision, to kind of, again, observe and take your time a little bit with what the next step is. So there's no rush here, and you can even see there's a moon here in the background, right? Moon. So, and she's feeling vulnerable. Look at how she's feeling vulnerable or exposed here. She's crossing her arms across her chest. It doesn't appear that she's got, any kind of a top on here. So she's feeling vulnerable with whatever's going on, vulnerable and exposed, and I don't want to see the truth of the matter. But it's time to let the moon kind of illuminate whatever's going on, and it's time to look at both what you're experiencing emotionally and why that might be. if it's triggering a past pattern, or if it's just highlighting something that has been a continued experience for you in reality in your now life that needs to be changed or looked at. But again, it would be best to not, make a hasty kind of move or decision with that number 7. Look deeper into the situation and make sure that you're seeing everything properly for what it is, using, again, your inner powers of discernment before coming to some sort of conclusion. Okay, then for those people that chose the rose quartz, all right, rose quartz people, special message. Okay, I almost dropped this one on the bottom here, so I'm going to choose that one. And this one says plants. Interesting that it says plants, and it says growth. So with Earth Mother Gaia, with plants, with trees, with flowers, right? This is all about growth, which is what the key word is. So whatever's happening this week in your life, for instance, if there's challenges, let's say it's in relationships, this is about your growth and evolution as a soul, and it's about staying grounded and focused and objective with what it is that you're seeing or feeling or experiencing, right? The earth is a grounding force. The earth gives us stability and security beneath our feet. So here, not only are the plants saying that there's growth happening, soul growth and evolution happening for you, there's a potential for, this beautiful blessing of the plant to expand, but there's also a need to stay focused and grounded and in your center and in a place of security. So this might also deal with financial matters as well, right? Finances or relationship matters. But make sure that you do what you can to stay grounded, because that full moon in water sign Cancer can leave us feeling physically and emotionally ungrounded. You might want to actually do some earthing, walking barefoot on the earth or standing barefoot on the earth. You might want to take a walk in nature, maybe connect with the plants, the flowers. And that can be within your own home too, if you have plants and flowers. Maybe you're digging into the earth and planting a garden. Maybe you're connecting with animals. Maybe you have pets. This is all going to be energy that kind of helps you to focus and ground your energy and feel a little bit more secure in whatever it is that you're going through. And remember, whatever it is that's happening right now is for your growth and evolution as a soul. Okay, and then, they wanted me to say something about number 19 too. Number 19 numerologically is a karmic number, and it's got a dual message with that 19. It's about learning to stand independently on your own 2 feet and make things happen for yourself, depending on yourself, while also at the same time realizing that you're a part of a community. And sometimes, instead of standing independent and on your own, we need to ask for help, and we need to let community, our tribe, help us, support us, assist us in whatever way on our path. So it's definitely a fine balance between independence and interdependence with other people that can be a support system for you. All right, and then for those of you that chose the raw ruby, special message for the raw ruby people. Special message for raw ruby. This one's calling my attention, so we're going to pull that one out. And this one says the biome. Now this is a brand new deck, so I don't even know what some of these cards mean. Now this is master number 44. I will speak of that first. The number 4 is about security, stability, feeling grounded, focused, having patience, determination, perseverance to move through earthly challenges. And the master number part of it, with the 4 and the 4, equals an 8. So now we're dealing with matters of finances, business, career, owning our own inner authority or inner power is the number 8, which that 44 equals. So it has more of a career business kind of feel to it in that way with the number. The biome, it says connection. The word there at the bottom with the biome says connection. It has a picture here of what looks like planet Earth. And we have all around planet Earth, we have different parts of nature, structures, buildings, etc. It's all around the planet. So I'm sure some of you out there know what actually the word biome means. I don't. So I'm just going to go with the images on the picture and say that this feels like, again, this sense of needing to feel or be or understand that we're all intricately interconnected with one another, and not just with each other as people, but we're all intricately, almost couldn't say that word again, intricately interconnected with Earth Mother Gaia herself. So, we have a heartbeat. Animals have a heartbeat. The Earth, she has a heartbeat. We are affected by the elements. The Earth is affected by the elements. When the Earth has been abused, we in turn are going to, in a sense, quote unquote, suffer because of it, right? If we're polluting her and we're not taking care of her environmentally, right? And you can see this with the breakdown on what's happening with climate change or the weather or, the fires and floods and things that are happening all around the world, right? If we don't take care of her, then she can't take care and support us. So we're all intricately connected here. And that would go too with our interpersonal relationships, right? We're all coming from the same source. Every soul comes from the same God source energy. So that means we're all interconnected, even if we don't know the people around the world. We don't know these people. But let's say, for instance, when a big, huge happening happens in another country in the world, again, maybe it's weather related, maybe it's a big tsunami storm or hurricane or something. When something happens on a huge collective level, the rest of us, on some level, and whether we're consciously aware of it or not, we realize this. We feel it emotionally. And again, we might not be able to understand or put our finger on, oh, why am I feeling this way? Or why am I feeling distraught? Or why am I feeling a little physically fatigued or whatever it might be? It's because we're all a part of the same energy. We're all interconnected. And so there's a message here to, again, realize that what you're putting out as far as your energy, your thoughts, your communications is going to affect you. It's going to come back somehow and affect you, because how you affect other people, either for positive or not positive, is affecting you, because again, we're all interconnected. And the more we can understand that, the more we can be aware of how we're communicating with one another or projecting energies or thoughts onto other people or onto things or circumstances or groups of people or whatever it might be. It's like the judgments towards individuals or communities or religions or countries. That's all affecting us all. What we're doing to the planet, it's affecting us all. So there's something there where we need to realize the effects of the whole with our own energy and kind of the power of our energy. Going back to that master number 44 equaling an 8, it's about power, empowerment, disempowerment, and how that all kind of affects us and one another and the planet as a whole. Okay, so I hope everyone has liked this weekly intuitive reading. Remember again to go and watch or listen to the monthly intuitive reading. It's also in a podcast form. You can go to my website, sacredsoulempowerment.com. There's a tab there that assists you in listening to it as a podcast as well, if you're not in a space or place to actually watch the video. And I want to thank all of you for your kind comments and your support and your help and your assistance, energetically or otherwise. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I send you lots of love and light. And as usual, many, many blessings.